Today we're going to be giving an update on why I sold all of my Sundial stock about a month ago and how it's gone since then. Let's get into the video. Hi everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to Finance Bro. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please leave a comment of your favorite stock of the moment, why it's your favorite stock of the moment, and also leave a like and subscribe as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Before we get into the video, if you guys want to see what we're investing in and why, and you also want to see a public stock portfolio, and you want a free stock that could be worth up to $70, then go ahead and get signed up with Public with the first link in the description. Follow us there on It's Finance Bro and you'll be able to see everything we're investing in and why in real time. So yeah, first link in the description. With all that out of the way, let's get straight into our stock for today, which is going to be Sundial. So as a few of you guys probably know, I used to talk about Sundial stock a lot on my channel as it did really well and it got a lot of views. And then I decided to put all of this to rest on June 23rd, 2021, when I just couldn't in good faith keep making videos on Sundial growers when I knew it would continue to go down. So it was sitting at about 90 cents at this time, and I had sold a couple of days before in the dollar-ish range. And if you guys didn't know, I actually talked about Sundial growers before the whole GameStop fiasco, and I got in at about 69 cents, I believe. And then I sold some when it went all the way up to that $3 or whatever level it was at, and took a lot of gains. But I left 50% in there just so I could have, some stake in the game while I continue to make videos about Sundial growers. Now, I made this video on June 23rd, about almost 2 months ago at this point, talking about why I decided to sell all of my Sundial stock. And you guys can actually go watch that video if you want to see like all of my reasons for why I sold my Sundial stock. But basically the gist of it is that the retail investor sentiment isn't there anymore, and the stock basically just likes to or the company rather likes to dilute their shares by taking advantage of their investors and the overall bullish investing that was happening basically on June 3rd when it was doing really well, also in February when it also did really well last or the beginning of this year. Basically they were diluting the crap out of people's shares, and that's why that, among other things, is why I thought Sundial would continue to go lower. And as you guys can see today, Sundial stock is much lower than before. It is sitting at about 76 cents, and even it's even less than that in after hours today, and it's broken a key support line. We're going to be talking about that technical analysis and more later in this video, but first let's go talk about Sundial stock and their earnings call that they just had. So I wanted to make another video on this, kind of updating you guys, letting you guys know if I'd ever get back into Sundial growers, basically just to update you guys on this stock, because I know a lot of you guys subscribed to us initially because of how well the Sundial stock videos went. I don't want to be so negative around this stock. I'm just going to give my real thoughts on it, and kind of I'm not going to be fake about this, but I'm going to try not to be so negative. But we can see here that in the earnings call, they did not do well. So first of all, EPS doesn't matter much. It really doesn't matter. They missed by 2 cents, whatever. That's not too bad. I know it says negative 99.99%, but really they missed by 2 cents. It's not that bad. Where it is kind of bad, however, is the revenue. So they're expected to have an increase in revenue quarter over quarter, all the way up to almost 1 million, and they reported 9.15 million. If you come down here to March's earnings call, you could see that they did have a revenue of about 9.89 million. All this is in Canadian dollars, by the way. And so instead of increasing their revenue a little bit, they actually missed, and they decreased their revenue and missed by about 10%. So that's why it's down so much today, and it's not good for a stock in the cannabis sector, which should be making big leaps in how much revenue they're doing, considering how much of a market opportunity there is for cannabis at this point. But yeah, so they didn't do well in revenue. I'm not too worried about this earnings per share, but the revenue really kind of stung. But let's get into this article on the Motley Fool about Sundial growers. So, why Sundial growers stock dropped Friday? There remains uncertainty whether the company can use the money it has raised to grow its business. They first go over what happened and basically talked about how it dropped and there wasn't any big positive development. So Sundial spent much of last year restructuring by raising capital and reorganizing into a two-pillar business heavily reliant on acquisitions. However, I will say this, they did not really acquire anything to make them more revenue yet, and it's been 2 quarters since they've had all this money, all this cash on hand, and they haven't been doing much with it. I thought this earnings call, hey, maybe they'll give us an update on something that they have raised so that they can make some more revenue. No, there's no outlook for what they are doing or what they are planning to do with all the cash they have on hand. And they also have 1 billion shares, or almost, and it's up 1,500% from a year ago, the amount of shares. So that is how they have absolutely diluted the crap out of people's shares. So that is not something you really like to see as an investor. But yeah, their EBITDA came at a loss in the second quarter. That report comes as they reported a positive first quarter in the first quarter of 2021. So they went from positive back down to a negative EBITDA, not good. Net loss for the second quarter was the equivalent of about 41 million. CEO Zach George issued a statement saying that our second quarter performance continued to be impacted by the liquidation of discounted inventory and our refusal to push suboptimal product into market. We have undertaken a significant re-entrenchment for our cultivation activity. So they're basically saying, hey, our product isn't good right now. We don't want to push a bad product. But at this point, you have to be kind of expediting this process, and they are just not seeming too urgent with this. Investors would have liked a second quarter of positive adjusted EBITDA, and that likely contributed to today's reaction on the stock. Sundial said that it has more than 1 billion in cash, marketable securities, and long-term investments. Investors will be watching closely to see if it can make its successful investments into the business to turn around. So we've been waiting for these successful investments for at least 2 quarters. Personally, on this channel, we've been waiting for this for multiple quarters, and they have made no progress. And that is why I got out last quarter. I was hoping maybe they come out with some good news in this earnings call. No, just more bad news, sadly. I mean, I really want Sundial Growers to do well. I know a lot of you guys are in it. But I mean, at one point, you just have to kind of say, hey, they're not making the right changes. So this does have a $1.3 billion market cap. They say it's going to go up in the short term, but in terms of long term, midterm, they say no. They have missed on all earnings or EPS in the past 5 quarters. That is something I don't like to see, even though they only reported at -2. EPS, or minus 0.2 EPS, they still, or 2 cent EPS, Jesus, they still haven't beat on any of the last 5 quarters, so that's not very good. Also, analyst price targets have Sundial Growers at a high of 76 cents. So we're basically at the high of analyst price targets, so the only way to go is pretty much down from here according to analysts. And really quickly before we end the video, I just want to go over a little bit of technical analysis. So this is actually when I made my video, was at this bottom here, 89 cents. It was kind of bad because Sundial stock the next day went up from 89 cents to topping out at about $1.07. But ever since then, Sundial stock has sold off all the way from 90 cents, all the way from $1.07 actually, making lower lows every single day, all the way to 75 cents today, which presents basically more than a 20% drop. And they just broke their support line at 77 cents, and it doesn't look like it's going to be recovering that support line anytime soon. So really, it has no real support line until about the 69 cents area. So overall, Sundial stock just not in a great place right now. And look guys, I don't want Sundial Growers to be doing bad. I'm not like a hater of Sundial stock. I am just a realist. If you guys disagree with anything I said in this video, go ahead and comment it down below. Comment down below why you should still be bullish on this stock. I just don't see any reasons. I'm definitely willing to hear you guys out. Comments down below. Also, if you guys found any value in this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Really trying to grow the channel. We just hit 10K. I'd like to say thank you guys so much for helping us hit that important milestone for us. It really means the world to us. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is Zach, and I hope to see you in the next video.